Did you know that the evil queen might have been based on a real person? She was a Hungarian countess from the 1500s named Elizabeth Bathory, and legend says she was the most prolific female serial killer in history. As a child, Elizabeth suffered from seizures, which the treatment at the time was bloodletting or sometimes even consuming the blood of someone who did not suffer from seizures. She was married in a political alliance to Ferenc Nadasdy of Hungary, and together their land ownership was massive. Unfortunately, he died at the age of 48, and he entrusted his widow, heirs, and land to the trust of this man, Jort Thorzo. Almost immediately, an investigation opened up with 300 statements from peasants that said that Elizabeth had been killing and torturing peasants for years. According to the story, she abducted peasant girls from nearby villages, tortured them, and then bathed in their blood to keep herself young and beautiful. Some rumors claim that she killed as many as 600 girls, and people started calling her the Blood Countess. Elizabeth was tried, found guilty, and held on house arrest until she died at the age of 54 in her own castle. Dr. Anushka Bailey found a book on the Blood Countess when she was 17 and realized this sounded a lot like a witch hunt. She entered academia and made this one of her main pursuits of research. She found that many of the victims had been noblewomen who were deposed when the Hungarian invasion came through. She argues that what Bathory did was to set up a school that taught these women how to be ladies-in-waiting to the new nobility. This would have created a lot of eyes and ears throughout the area in the noble houses that were very loyal to Elizabeth. There were lots of reports of coffins leaving the castle grounds. Anushka found that there were numerous tunnels in the castle, and there were even some printing presses. She suspects that Elizabeth was actually a book smuggler. You see, the Habsburgs were in power, but they were Catholic, and Elizabeth was a Calvinist, so that may have had something to do with the books that were being smuggled. Now, King Matthias was the Holy Roman Emperor at the time, and he owed Elizabeth a lot of money. Elizabeth's nephew Gabor Bathory wanted the throne for himself, and Elizabeth's lands would have been the perfect place for him to make an assault on King Matthias. So who was the man who ordered the investigation into Elizabeth as the Blood Countess? And who was the man who claimed he found Elizabeth bathing in blood when he went to arrest her? Elizabeth's lands were seized and her wealth dispersed, and Matthias's debt conveniently disappeared. So 100 years later, when the Grimm brothers were compiling their fairy tale Snow White, it could be that the evil queen was a nod to the Blood Countess, a woman obsessed with beauty and not afraid to kill a young maiden. So what do you think? Was this a serial killer, or do you think it was just a big witch hunt of a woman who was becoming too powerful? I believe that oftentimes fairy tales are just history in disguise, so follow along if you want to hear more stories just like this one.